A very good morning to all the students of class ninth. And students, as you know, we had started the first chapter of your economics book, and the name of the first chapter is Story of the Village Palampur. So before studying this chapter, we had taken the overview. In this overview, I told you that the basically the purpose and importance or the objective of introducing this chapter into your syllabus is where you can understand the basic concepts which are relating to the production of goods and services in the various sectors. And basically here we will be talking about the agricultural sector. And also this Palampur village, this is a hypothetical village, that is, it is an imaginary place or an imaginary village we have discussed about, but most of its characteristics are very much relevant to the villages of our country, especially Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, these regions of plain, okay, where we have very good agricultural production. So also in the introduction part we had seen the basic structure of the village. In terms of the structure, where we had shown the description of Palampur has very well developed system of roads, transport, electricity, irrigation, schools and health centers as well. So we had seen that it was a well connected village which was having a very good connectivity with electricity, transport, road, everything. So and most of the people were busy with the agricultural activities only. Then we saw and discussed regarding the organization of production. It means we can also say that we talked about the four important factors of the production or four requirements of production. First was land, second was labor, third was physical capital, okay, and the fourth was working capital, that we can say as human capital. So we had discussed in detail the four factors of production. Then by the end of the lecture video, it was becoming a long video, so I had discussed one part of this topic. So we had started farming in Palampur. So after discussing the factors of production, especially for the agricultural sector we were talking about, so we have to talk about farming in Palampur, as most around 75% of population or the people are busy with the primary activity, that is the agricultural activity. So we have to talk about farming in Palampur. This is an imaginary village, but still we have to talk what type of farming is done in Palampur. So first point under this was land is fixed, where I said okay, with the changes in time period, now there is a lot more demand of crops and food grains by the people because the population is increasing, but the land under agriculture remains the same. So we talked about what are the constraints when land is fixed, what are the barriers when land is fixed and we require more output or more production from the same set of or a plot of land. So the topic for the day is going to be, is there a way one can grow more from the same land? So that is why, after as we have written land is fixed, so now there is a question to us, can we grow more or can we do more production with the same plot of land or the fixed land? Because land is fixed but population is increasing, there is a more demand for the food grains. So how can we increase the production of the food grains from the same plot of land? So this is part 2 we are going to discuss. So in the kind of crops grown and facilities available, and basically you have to remember we are talking about Palampur here, although this is an imaginary village, but you have to keep in mind when the basic characteristics which we have discussed, that it has a good connectivity with the road, good connectivity with electricity, strong town and villages nearby. So you have to keep in mind. So the kind of crops grown and facilities available, Palampur would resemble a village of western part of the state of Uttar Pradesh. So if you compare this region of Palampur, it has been described in the introduction part, it looks like a same villages like Uttar Pradesh. So it is having the same characteristics. All land, because there or here all land is cultivated in Palampur, okay, all the land in the village is under agricultural. No land is left idle. There is no land in the village which is idle during the rainy season. So we talk about the crop pattern of this place now. So during the rainy season, like we have a rainy season here, this season is called Kharif season, okay. Here in Palampur, farmers grow jowar and bajra. So we are not talking about Uttar Pradesh, we are not talking about Uttarakhand or Himachal Pradesh or Bihar, we are talking about Palampur. So there in Palampur, it was supposed that farmers grow jowar and bajra in the month of or the rainy season, that is a Kharif season. So these plants are used as cattle feed. So if we talk about this jowar and bajra, those are for the cattles. it is followed by soon after these jowar and bajra, they are harvested for the kettles. Just after that, potatoes are being sown from October to December. So from July they had started sowing jowar and bajra, and after these harvest of jowar and bajra, there is a cultivation of potatoes from October to December. Okay, so in the winter season, so now the by December there is a winter season. So in winter season, and winter season is called rabi season. So the crops which we grow during the winter season are called the rabi crops. So at this time there are a crop which are sown, which is wheat. Okay, the flour, the chapatis we eat, wheat. From the wheat produce, farmer keep enough wheat for the family. So whatever is the production of the wheat, out of that the production is kept for the personal use by the family, and the extra content is sold, or the surplus is sold in the market of Raiganj. As in the beginning I told you that Raiganj is an important town, or the one big village nearby Palampur. And when we are studying, you have to keep in mind these are the conditions which are only applicable to Palampur, because we are taking the example of Palampur here. A part of the land area is also devoted to sugarcane. When the entire field is sown with cattle feed of jowar, bajra, and after that potato, but apart or the wheat, when we grow the wheat also in winters, some part of the ground is devoted to sugarcane, because sugarcane takes a whole year to grow. It is harvested once every year. Sugarcane in its raw form, if we talk about the raw form, or we talk about its finished product, that is jaggery, good in Hindi we call it, is sold to traders. So that sugarcane is sold to the traders of Shahpur. So whatever, when we are talking about Raiganj or we are talking about Shaipur, these are the big villages or the towns nearby this village that is called Palampur. The main reason why farmers are able to grow three different crops in a year. So now they are growing three different crops. First I told you they are growing for the cattle, jowar and bajra. Soon after the harvest of jowar and bajra, they are sowing potatoes, and in winters they are sowing wheat. So we can see there are around 3 or 4 crops which they are growing in a whole year. The main reason why farmers are able to grow three different crops in a year in Palampur is due to the well developed system of irrigation, and the production is also good because they have a very good connectivity. If we talk in terms about irrigation, because they have electricity, so in through electricity they can run the electric pumps or the tube wells. Electricity came early in Palampur, its major impact. So you can see the impact of electricity. So various things are interrelated and interconnected if we talk about the success of the agriculture. So because of the electricity facilities, agriculture has an impact, has transformed the system of irrigation. Previously they used to use Persian wheel for irrigating their farms, but it used to take a lot of time. But people saw the electric run tube wells could irrigate much, but people realized this electric run tube wells could irrigate the large farms or the large land areas in a shorter period of time. The first few tube wells were installed by the government. First of all, in this Palampur, few tube wells were installed by the government, but later on some private tube wells also came up. As a result, by 1970s, entire cultivated area of 200 hectare was irrigated. So what the result of 1970s, by there was so many tube wells, the entire cultivated area to all 200 hectare area was irrigated easily and properly, which made possible for the people of Palampur to grow three crops in a year, also maintaining the fertility of the ground. And these are the crops which are grown yearly: bajra, wheat, sugarcane, and potato. So they have managed in a way where are some crops are kharif crops and some are rabi crops. So to grow more than one crop on a piece of land during a year is known as multiple cropping. So if a question comes, what do you understand by multiple cropping? Means multiple of crops we are growing in a single year, not together. We have to manage and we have to schedule their different harvesting seasons, and which crop suits which season, and accordingly we have to place them. So to grow more than one crop on a single piece of land, we have grown more than one crop, and that is called multiple cropping. It is the most common way of increasing production. If you want to increase the production of various crops on a same piece of land, multiple cropping is the best option. all farmers in Palampur grow at least two main crops. Mainly are growing potatoes as a third. So main two crops are grown by everyone, that is wheat and sugarcane, and the third option is potato, maybe bajra. So this is the third option. Many are growing potatoes from many past 15 years. Okay. So now this is a chart or the table shows which shows the cultivated area over the years in India. This is not only Palampur, it is about India. So over the years you can see the cultivated area and the unit is million hectares. In 1950 it was only 120 million hectare of land was cultivated in India, but if you see by 2012 this reached to 155. So the cultivated area under agriculture has increased, and this is a source given by it is a true source by State of Indian Agriculture 2015-16, and the same data has been reflected here through a chart, through a bar diagram. You can see these are the year 1950. As I told you, in 2012 it was the highest and it was 155. You can see 140 is here and this will be around 155 here. So this shows year wise calculation area under cultivated area for all the years. Now here is a question summing up. It is important to increase the area under irrigation. Why? Okay, of course, if we have to increase the production. You have read about the crop grown in Palampur, fill in the blank. So you have seen the examples that how crops and multiple crops are grown in Palampur on a single land for the whole year. So now you have to fill the table given below based on the information on the crops grown in your region. So the crops grown in your region, according to that you have to fill the chart and you will give the basic important information, like they have written here name of the crop, in which month it is sown, month it is harvested, and source of irrigation. Are the your area for the irrigation dependent on rain, whether tanks are used, tube wells are used, canals are used, or any other source. So this is going to be an important activity, interesting. You must do that. I will be giving you as a homework. So here you have seen that one way of increasing production from the, so the topic we were doing that how can we increase the production of crops or grains from a same fixed plot of land. Okay, so now we have seen the increasing production from the same land is by multiple cropping. One option is multiple cropping, which we have discussed. The other way is to use modern farming methods. So now the other thing which we will discuss is by using modern farming methods also we can increase the output of the same land. Yield is measured as a crop production on a given piece of land. Whatever is the production, it is called the yield of that particular piece of land during a single season. Okay, when we have to calculate the production of wheat or production of paddy crop or a production of corn or pulses, we will be talk about a particular season, that okay, in this season this was a yield produced by this particular land. So till the mid 1960s the seed used to be cultivation under tradition. So till 1960s seeds used in cultivation were traditional ones and relatively low yields. But there was a green revolution, as we know. With the green revolutions farmers were motivated and they were given new seeds, new techniques, new machines under the green revolution. So we'll talk about the green revolution and we'll see by the use of new modern machines, pesticides, insecticides, new high variety of seeds, how the production increased. Traditional seeds needed less irrigation, so the traditional seeds needed less water. Farmers used cow dung and other natural minerals as fertilizers. खाद जो होती है, cow dung and other natural minerals were used. All these were readily available with the farmers. So this was available with the farmers at their homes only, who do not have to, and they did not have to buy them. But the output was not so much, but still the things were available with the farmers themselves. But then there came a phase of green revolution in the late 1960s, or we can say in the starting of the 1970s, which introduced the Indian farmers to cultivation of wheat. This introduced the farmers of India that how they should produce wheat and rice using high yielding variety HYVs or seeds, Compared to the traditional seeds, the HYV seeds promise to produce much greater amount of grains. So now with the help of these modern seeds, there could be more production of grains in of a single plant. Within a single plant, you could find more number of grains, ultimately increasing the production of a particular crop in a particular season. As a result, the same piece of land would now produce far larger quantities. It means the same plot of land now could produce large amount of quantities of food grains as compared to the other old traditional methods or the old traditional seeds used by the farmers. So HYV seeds, however, needed plenty of, but these seeds, high variety seeds, high yielding variety seeds, they needed more amount of water, plenty of water. As we read previously, traditional seeds needed less irrigation, but these seeds for the same crop needed more water. Also chemical fertilizers, now previously they were using manure and cow dung as the fertilizer, but now they required chemical fertilizers and pesticides to produce better results. So now they required more things for the better production. Pesticides were used, fertilizers were used to get the more production. Higher yields were possible only from a combination of HYV seeds. So we had to make a combination. We had to get this high variety of seeds. Irrigation system should be more. It means it needed more water and use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides. If we were having a combination of these elements, we could have a good production of wheat or rice. Farmers of Punjab. So in other than talking about Palampur, now we are taking the example since we are talking about the green revolution. So very first time farmers of Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try the modern farming methods. These were the modern farming methods which was a transaction phase. If we talk about the agriculture in India, the farmers in these regions set up tube wells. There were many setup of tube wells because more irrigation was required, and made use of, they use these HYV seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides in farming. Some of them brought farm machineries, like now they use modern techniques also to increase the production. Tractors were there, threshers were there, which are required to produce crop at various stages to prepare the fields for a particular crop, which made plowing and harvesting faster. Now they could harvest the particular pieces of land or the plot of land much faster as compared to the old traditional methods. They were rewarded. Finally, they made so much of changes. They took initiative to use the modern machines, modern methods for the increase in production. So they were rewarded with high yields of wheat. So there was a huge increase in the wheat production. Now in Palampur, now coming back to Palampur, the yield of wheat grown from traditional varieties. When the old methods were used in Palampur to grow the wheat, they used to produce 1300 kgs per hectare. Per hectare of land used to produce only 1300 or 1300 kgs. But when they started using these high yielding variety of seeds, the yield or the production went up to 3200 kgs. Can you see the change and the increase in the production? Only 1300 and this was around 3200 per hectare on the same piece of land. So that is why we are studying the topic, that how can we increase the production on the fixed land. So one was using the multiple cropping method, and other was by implementing these new methods of farming into the sector. There was large increase in the production of the wheat. Farmers now had great amount of surplus wheat to sell to the market. Now apart than that of subsistence farming, where they required some crops for their own farming, for their own consumption, now they were having a huge surplus which they could sell in the market, increasing their economy and improving their lifestyles. So with this we come to this topic also, and we were studying a topic that is farming in Palampur. We started with the first point, that is land is fixed, and second was how we can increase the production on a fixed land. Now the third thing under the same topic, farming in Palampur, is will the land sustain? That is, if we have opted for the new modern methods of agriculture to increase the production, ultimately it will also have some negative impact on the environment, on the soil quality, on the production, on the water level. So let's read it. Will the land sustain? if we'll put so much of pressure on a single piece of land to produce more and more for us by using modern methods or modern techniques or more irrigation, what will be the outcome of that? We'll see under this. Will the land sustain? So all the topics are interconnected. If you can see, we are talking about the farming in Palampur, so we have related it. The land is fixed, so if the land is fixed, how we can increase the production, because there will be change in demands of the society with the increase in population. But if we use the modern methods and techniques to grow production, to increase production, will the land sustain? बच पाएगा या क्या नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट होगा लैंड के ऊपर? दैट विल अंडरस्टैंड. लैंड बीइंग अ नेचुरल रिसोर्स, बिकॉज लैंड इज अ नेचुरल रिसोर्स, it is necessary to be very careful in its use. So very carefully we have to use the land. Okay, beyond its capacity we cannot work on it. Scientific reports indicate that modern farming methods have overused the natural resource. Now there has been many scientific studies which have given their reports that by using these modern farming methods we are overusing this natural resource of land. Okay, so we can say destroying this land as a resource. In many areas, green revolution is associated with loss of soil fertility. Of course, with the green revolution we got a very good response or a very good production of a few of the crops. But along with that, in the reports of the scientists, we saw there was a loss of soil was losing its fertility due to the increased use of so much of chemicals, pesticides and fertilizers were used, that the original soil was losing its capability and capacity. Also continuous use of groundwater, as we were using so much many tube wells to irrigate these seeds, as more water was required, so for that we saw that we were losing lot of groundwater which was being pumped out. Okay, environmental resources like soil fertility, groundwater are built up of, if we talk about these natural resources or the environmental resources like soil and water, groundwater, these are being refilled or the recreated or restored in millions of years or thousands of years. It takes a lot of time. Once destroyed, it is very difficult to restore them. We must take care of our environment, so we have to take care of our environment for just to increase the production more than the capacity of the ground. We cannot lose some of the important resources of our environment like soil, water, and ultimately the soil, water and other environmental phenomena are interrelated, which disturbance the ecosystem. So there will be an unbalance in the ecosystem if we keep practicing the modern agriculture activities in this way. They may escape from the soil and pollute groundwater. It means they are talking about the chemicals. Many chemicals will seep into the groundwater and which will pollute the water. Chemical fertilizers can kill many bacteria and microorganisms in the soil. So chemical fertilizers which we are using may kill the microorganisms or bacteria present in the soil, which are important for the production. This means sometimes after they are used, the soil will be less fertile than ever before. The consumption of chemicals and fertilizers in Punjab is highest. So two states, Punjab and Haryana, the chemical consumption is highest for the more production. The continuous use of chemical fertilizers has led to the degradation of soil. Now the soil is degrading, its value and quality is degrading because of the continuous use of chemical fertilizers. Punjab farmers are now forced to use more and more chemical fertilizers and other inputs to achieve the same production level, because the production has increased after 1970s, but a continuous use of chemicals and fertilizers after 1970s has now deteriorated or degraded the soil quality. So now the more fertilizers and more fertilizers are used by the farmers to reach the same level of production every year. This means cost of cultivation is increasing. It means the farmer has to buy more fertilizers, more pesticides, they need more water of irrigation, it means more electricity. It means the value or the cost of production is also increasing, and because of this the cost of crops is also increasing in the market. So this is a chain and interconnected issues which need to understand. Okay, so this is enough for this video, and in the next video we'll be taking the fourth part of the topic, that is farming in Palampur, and fourth will be how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur, how the land was distributed. Okay, so this for this video this is enough. Thank you so much.